what is coming in. You don't come to God except for through Christ. You don't get to come to God on your own merit. You didn't earn it. You don't come to God going, I'm a good person, so you owe me this. Woohoo! Look at the pride. What does the Bible say? God resists the proud. You know what that means? He stands with his arms in front of you and says, you ain't getting past. Wow. A lot of people say, well, they were a good person, so God will accept them in his kingdom. It's not what the word says. We come through the way. We come in the truth, and then there's life. We come through Christ. That's the only way we can come. The world, we can't say that we love Christ and deny his truth. Jesus actually came speaking truth, and he's absolute truth. There's two kinds of truth in this world, and one of them is completely false. There is absolute truth. And absolute truth means it's absolutely the truth. But there is a truth that is being taught. It's being taught in our schools. It's being taught even in churches, and it's called relative truth. And it's what is truth to you. And people do it. This is the term. Well, this is my truth. This is how I believe. It's what I live by. So here's the problem with relative truth. It has no firm foundation because it comes from your emotions and your experience, and it doesn't come from absolute rock. So you're building your house on the sand, and when the winds and the waves in your life come, it will shift what you believe because you're not on the rock. That's what Jesus said. So absolute truth is really dangerous because it's based on your emotions. Now, I don't know about, but I'm a woman, okay? And we are a little bit more emotional than men usually. And if I make decisions based on my emotions, my house would be like a mess. My hair would be multiple different colors. There would be some very interesting things about me. Because women, they say even when a woman's pregnant, because of the hormones that you have going through your body, don't make big decisions. You will hate it when the hormones calm down. And I've known women who literally start knocking down walls and painting their house. And then they're like, why'd you let me do that? It's a bad idea. Men, don't make a decision in anger. Don't make a decision because you're frustrated. My husband and I have had that talk. I know you're frustrated, but don't make a decision you're going to regret. Don't say a word that you're going to regret later when you're not in the heat of the moment. Women, don't say anything when you're all boo-hooey and weird. Just get off the phone and don't talk to anybody for a minute. Go pray in the Holy Spirit. Get a grip of your emotions before you react. Why? Because that's not truth. Those are emotions, and they're feelings, and they're fickle, and they change, and they blow around, and they're going to change. In 5 minutes, we have kind of, this is our term. We say, I need to vent, so I just need you to be a brick wall with ears. That means zip the lip and don't respond to me. Just listen. So we have this because when we were early married, we didn't know how to vent at each other without taking it to heart and getting offended. So my husband and I learned how to talk to each other and say, this is what I'm really needing. I just need to vent. I just need the brick wall with ears. Okay, so I've learned to shut my heart off and just listen to what he's saying, but not take it personal. And he has learned to listen to me and not try to fix it. We're married. We know exactly what you're talking about. And he knows, don't fix me. In fact, just let me talk because I'm gonna solve this problem all by myself. Because that's what women do, right? So we solve the problem and we get through it. But if we base every decision that we make in our life on those moments of crazy, we would be the most unstable people in the world. And what is an unstable person? A double-minded man is unstable in all their ways, and they just get tossed around by the wind. I don't want to be tossed around by the wind. I want to stand and I want to be firm. You know the wind has been very bad up here lately. And if your house isn't solid, something's going to blow away. That's how it's been. And there's a lot of storms going on in the world right now, in the spirit realm and in the physical. You cannot emotionally be thrown around by the wind right now. You better be firm. You better be solid as a rock. But that means you have to plant your life on truth. Because the only thing solid is God's truth. Not your emotions and not your relative truth, what's true to you. And a lot of times we make it true to us because that's what we've experienced. Here's the problem with making experience your truth. You have this little treasure inside of you, and it's your experiences, and we have a tendency to tuck it away and go, and sometimes those experiences are good. And sometimes we've really learned a lesson from them. And sometimes we have to be careful because we can replace the gospel of Jesus Christ, that is absolute truth, with our version. Does that make sense? So we have to be careful that out of our experience, Matt and I had a very sour experience. And we shared our experience on a Wednesday night. What we went through in our marriage, what we went through with the church, not this church, the church as a whole, and what we went through in our experience. We didn't share it from a place of hurt. We actually shared it from a place of healthy healing. And that's why we called it restoration. It's online, you can see it. And we shared that because we wanted to show you that God heals. And yes, you can be hurt by people, but you don't have to carry that hurt in that little box and then say that's the way everything happens. You don't have to experience the gospel of Jesus Christ through your bad experiences. You can actually take those and say, God, that's what happened to me, but I'm not going to let that be the gospel to me. And I've had to pull that little treasure out and set them aside and say, God, I want your gospel to be a very steady rock in me, that it's truth and it's solidified. And it's not based on my emotions and my hurts and my wounds and my fears, but it's based on you, who's perfect and never changes. That's the solid rock. The world has a hard time with truth because the world doesn't like the boundaries of the way, so it's decided to change the truth, and then it still expects the life. Let me say that again. The world doesn't like the boundaries of the way, so it has changed its truth, but it still expects the life at the end of it. That doesn't work. God has boundaries. That's the way. He has the truth, and we can't change that because those are principles. God said he cannot be mocked. He set sowing and reaping in place. That's not karma.